Swinburne University of Technology.
Hi everyone, in this video we are going to look at data frames and lists, which are two important objects in R. In particular data frames because they are the object which is going to hold the data that we analyze. So I've got a read.table here. I'm going to read in some data and we can see it's just a little tiny data set and I've assigned it to an object called myData. I can use the class function to see what this object is, and we can see that this object is a data frame. So data frame, much like we might have a data page in SPSS or a data file in SAS, it has rows which are our observations and it has columns which are our variables. We can refer to a particular column by using the $sign. So if I say my data $1, then it's going to refer as a vector just to variable 1. Can do the same for variable 2, and you can see it's got a vector just of the content of variable 2. It's figured out that these are actually categories, we've got A's and B's, and it tells me here levels A and B. So anytime we have a factor, which is a categorical variable, R calls it a factor, then it will tell us about the levels. We can check on that as well. So if we say class myData and then using the $sign, and it tells us it's a factor. And if we compare that to column 3 or variable 3, we can see that variable 3, it's numeric. So as we've read the data into our data frame, R has been really good with figuring out what kind of variables we have here. If we have a data frame and we want to work out the dimensions of it, we can use the dim function. And so it's telling us we've got 6 rows, we've got 3 columns. This can be quite useful where we're writing functions that navigate through a particular size data frame, that it will know how many rows and how many columns we have. The other useful thing for us to know about is that we can use square brackets to refer to particular parts of our data frame. So if I've got my data and maybe I want to refer to row 3, then I can put some square brackets and I can refer just to row 3. If I want to refer to row 3 but only to the item in column 2, I can do that as well. So the square brackets can let me identify a particular part of my data frame, just like last week when we were looking at vectors. So the second object that I want to show you is a list. And so a list is really an object where I can bundle stuff together. So if we create a object, and the object that I'm going to create is just a very simple linear model. So I'm going to set up some variables and then I'm going to do a linear regression. So I made some just little dummy variables, y and x, just put some numbers in them, and we're going to learn about our linear models in a few weeks' time. And so LM is just our function where we can regress y against x. This is the style of when we're going to be setting up regressions, which we'll learn more about in the future. And if we have a look at the contents of this fit object, we'll find that it's got a whole lot of stuff inside it. So we've done a regression and it's got all the things we would expect, so fitted values and residuals and coefficients. And a little bit like with our data frame, we can use a $sign and we can refer to these items. So if we go and look at our coefficients, then we can see that inside this object called fit, which was just a list from my linear model, I've got a whole lot of different things, and so within these different things here we can see the coefficients. It's just got a vector with the coefficients. Different items might look different. So for instance, our coefficients is just a vector, but when we look at model or we look at terms, if we look at matrices that are sitting inside here, some of them might have different structures. They don't have to all be vectors. They can be any data type that we like.
This has been a Swinburne production.